graphing, finding the slope of a line given the equation. The slope-intercept form of the line y equals mx plus b is a form where we can easily read off the slope and the y-intercept. The slope is the coefficient of x, so m is our slope. And the b gives us our y-intercept. If you remember the definition for y-intercept, when you are looking for it, you plug 0 into x. If you plug 0 into x, 0 times anything here is going to be 0. So it's just going to leave you 0b. So the coordinates for the y-intercept will be 0b. So we're able to pick off the slope and the y-intercept from this particular form of the equation of the line. Before trying to pick off the slope and the y-intercept, it's important to make sure you're in the proper form. The y must be isolated to be in slope-intercept form. Find the slope of the following lines. So for our first line, y equals 2x minus 5. We want to find the slope. The y is isolated. The slope is the coefficient of the x. No work. M equals 2. We could also pick off the y-intercept. We'll include the sign. So it is going to be 0, negative 5. There's a very easy way to graph lines that we'll look at later, which uses a slope and one point. So if we are able to pick off that much information easily, then that is the best way to graph the line. So we'll come back to that idea, but practice picking off the slope and y-intercept on the others. So for our second example, y equals negative 3x plus 2. To find the slope, y is isolated, so it is in the proper form. Your slope is the coefficient of the x. The coefficient does include the sign. So m equals negative 3. You can also pick off your y-intercept. It didn't ask for it in this question, but you could. It will be 0, 2. For our third example, y equals 2/3 x minus 1. We want the slope. Y is isolated. Slope will be the coefficient of the x. So slope is 2/3. And you could also pick off your y-intercept, 0, negative 1. Let's look at another example. Find the slope of the following line. 4x minus 3y equals 6. We cannot pick the slope straight off of this line because it is not in the proper form. Remember, we need it to look like y equals mx plus b. So we have to isolate the y. This is just our formula solving skills. So we'll manipulate the equation. We want to get y by itself. So first we need to get rid of the 4x. It's a positive 4x, so we'll take it away. When we subtract on the left, it will be gone. That will leave us minus 3y equals 6. And we also have to subtract it on the right. We go back on our side with the y, and we need to get rid of this coefficient. It's a negative 3, so we're going to have to divide through by a negative 3. One thing that's a little different than our formula solving is on this right-hand side, we're going to divide it under each piece. So I'm going to make a new line. So I have negative 3y, and I'm going to divide by negative 3. And then on the other side, I will also divide each of those by the negative 3. So I'm going to do it under each one. And now I'll clean up. So this leaves me just y equals, simplify, this will give us a negative 2. 3 into 6 goes 2 and 1 negative. Be careful on the next piece. You have 2 negatives here. This will give you a plus. And you can pull the coefficient away from the x. So it will be 4/3 x. Now, our equation is turned around a little bit, but it is in slope-intercept form. The y is isolated. That's the part that's important. So our slope will be the coefficient of the x from this form. So our slope is going to be 4/3.